Bagman's piercing eyes follow you. The woman and her coffee watch over you. Miss watchful eyes, a part of you left behind. She doesn't seem strange smell about her. Chemical. You remember it from somewhere. The aggressive man said she's been huffing photochemicals. Something's got her in an unusually euphoric mood.
Of course, all good here. How may I support you this fine day?
Sweet, slightly pungent, reminds you of overripe apricots. All signs point to...
Excuse me?
Her eyes are looking every which way but towards you. Highly suspicious.
I've been rumbled.
She produces a small brown glass bottle and sets it on the counter. I'll fee her, sure.
It used to be a respectable habit, you know. Prescription. I don't see why a little rag now and then should be a big deal. Come off it. It's perfectly safe as long as you don't forget to sip water. All the same, I suppose it does look a touch unprofessional. Let's not tell Melita. Go on, then. No, it's just us.
Her, you, and the breathing mannequin.
A fit of boredom, if you can believe it. Here I thought I'd broaden my horizons, so I signed up for a mailing list, one dedicated to foreign literature.
An age-old recruitment technique. Let those with a sufficiently international perspective reveal themselves.
Then one day, this very polite man with a very pleasing accent was on my doorstep. I thought he was going to try to convert me to crystal worship. Instead, he asked if I'd be interested in letting my upstairs room. Yes,
She likes remembering him this way, in her shop, pretending to discreetly examine her list of services.
As I said, not much to tell. Of course. I'll be here if you...
A name is emblazoned across the side of the tuk-tuk, in a cool blue font partly obscured by diaphanous. Around the back, an aluminium roll-up door shields the contents of the trailer. Evidently the expensive kind. Sterile, discreet, professional. This is who you call in when you're paranoid that regular help might molest the contents of your apartment. When the things you're cleaning up after are especially sensitive in nature. The leather upholstered bench is barely big enough for two people to share. A half-eaten sandwich wrapped in paper leaks grease onto the passenger side. The window is rolled down, just a crack. You can see the contents nestled between two flattened plantains, fried shrimp covered in melted cheese. Elderlord de Venus, extremely popular at pelota matches, and the main cause of Portofero's looming epidemic of atherosclerosis. No one abandons a sandwich like that for long. Someone has jammed a half-empty spray bottle of disinfectant and a damp rag into the shallow well on the dashboard. And there's a parking permit for 422 Calle Espinas taped to the inner windshield. The only other touch of the personal is a copper medallion hanging from the rearview mirror. The cheap metal was oxidized, a green patina on an embossed 8-pointed star. El Señor del Vega, angel of ancestors and bringer of the new year. The city used to be littered with shops that sold these medals. 1,000 chains on 100 hooks. The cleaners, wherever they are, have left little trace of themselves or their equipment inside. The roll-up door is bowed in, half crushed. The aluminium edges are misaligned, leaving an awkward gap that's desperately bridged by a worn padlock. This tuk-tuk has recently suffered a rear-end collision. That padlock is under sustained physical pressure. Its collapse is not far. The old padlock, under stresses it could not possibly endure, shudders and pops open. The small space is tightly packed. In the corner is a selection of buckets, a rack of brooms and mops mounted on the wall above them. Bottles of cleaning solution are tucked into every free space, with names like Zyph. Your eyes land on a shapeless garment in a disconcertingly meaty shade of pink. There's a zipper on the back and a large tinted window at the front. The cleaner's face obscured from clients who'd rather not have to acknowledge the humanity of their janitorial staff. Figure 1452. A lino cut of an early diving suit, so primitive that the explorer had to be sewn into it before he went under, and cut free after surfacing. Anything that obscures your face is good, and this suit has the advantage of obscuring your humanity completely. Most early abyssonauts succumb not to drowning, but to the ocean's crushing pressures. The suit slides off the rack and into your hands. The tuk-tuk remains in its place. The cleaning tuk-tuk with its soap bubbles and secrets seems almost prestigious now. The tuk-tuk remains in its... The trio goes silent. You can feel sex eye.
You're back. I'm checking out the scene.
He's doing nothing.
Alert. Look at those people over there. Out-of-towners. Thoughtless threads. She's got Vertonine sneakers.
Sleek.
He's got a sacrophobe coat.
Evil.
And that man over there is most definitely wearing a crossbill.
Not gang.
Those are all illusion brands. They don't even sell the knockoffs for some of these in the bazaar. Hence, they're most likely from out of town. I think they are illusion brand ambassadors. I ate them up the other day, hoping to represent the scene of Portofino, but they weren't very talkative. I thought we could have a scene crossover, but it was not to be. When life closes a door, it often closes another door before opening a window. The window of the scene. That's how it works. For decades, Kizok was a very low-quality scene, as far as the global scene goes. It's starting to show promise now, but I have to keep watch to make sure it doesn't go the wrong way.
The thankless gatekeeper. Rumble scenes. We've been in the archives for too long. We might be getting left behind. Find out what's in.
Crop tops, monuments, and communism.
Wrong. Communism is omnipresent.
Nothing's wrong with crop tops. It's all to do with belly buttons. In the current year of 96, the scene has deemed them out.
Belly sexy. Man wrong.
This decade is all about portability. It's not feasible to take a monument with you. Maybe like a brick from the foundation or something, but not much more. Look around you. They tried it here, but it didn't work. All that remains from it are monuments and crop tops. Yeah.
Struck a nerve there.
Yep. Illusion everything. Full reflection clothes, high-speed synthesizer music, and tiny attack dogs. The scene thinks it to be some kind of a power move, just for laughs. It's not like you'd see or hear them coming, right? They intend to overwhelm your eyes with brightness, so you wouldn't see them coming. Cool, but also menacing.
Then the fight shall happen with eyes closed.
Mm-hmm. See you on the scene.
Hey, Stardust. You just keep blowing back. Yuck. That freak with the colored hair? Definitely not Moonglow.
It's true. She could never be a true Ultra. Sorry. She can't sing. She tried at school once, in the top.
I mean, she should have actually died. If that was me, I would have just died. Just tell her she's a Moonglow. She knows already, but it's good. She's like Sun Shadow. That's the opposite. Thank you.
So stupid. Like, what are they afraid of? That we'll see what we're missing out on and realize Portofiero's a wasteland? Too late. There's nothing good here. And anything that is good is a giant pain to find. Like, we've been trying to get a genuine Lucian disc player for months. No luck. That's fine if you're desperate. But it's disrespectful to listen to Ultravioleta any other way than in the original medium. Whole thing is so moronic. People would be a lot happier if they were able to just have what they want.
Censorship is basically backwards rape. And that's not very Moonglow in any direction. Later, Moonbeam.
Hello again. What'll it be? See you. Hello again.
They're not here. Never drank himself. He'd cover you if you whined about it, but only if he was already getting one for himself. Product of her generation. She knew how to keep herself to herself. Like one of those master sword makers the government subsidizes to make 2 blades a year. It took him a long time to warm up to people, but once he did, he was loyal to a fault. Unable to disappear into her own coat, she attempted to recede into the painted backdrop. Slouched in the booth. Back to the nearest wall. He even began to distrust those towards the end. The memory of the endless ring when you called to tell him the boat was going to leave without him still itches at you.
Let me know if you need something else.
She gives the photograph a brief, considered glance.
No. That's you.
Something about the woman in the photo doesn't match the person standing in front of her now. She studies the photograph for another moment.
I don't think I've ever seen most of these people.
Most, not all.
That one was a carabinero, right? That's tough. He died, I think. It's been a while. Almost 5 years. He was nice. I can see that. How'd you say you knew him again? There was this guy he used to meet with, Rustamian. Heavy set. Pretty sure he was an informant. Yeah, go dice. I'm saying he might know more, if that's what you want. Don't forget your photo. You mean reunion, all of that. I try not to think about it. Spreading the light of techno-fascism by annexing all the old Illuminado colonies. They think we're theirs. Yeah, I mean, I don't pretend to understand any of it. There's no sense in worrying. It will come. The only question is when. See you.
Operant. Forewarned is forearmed. Lusian elites with a hard-on for maps. Kicked off in the 70s when Luz re-annexed a few neglected ex-colonies. No resources at stake. Now that they've dispensed with optics, the reunion's really picking up speed. That's got Enter spreading around the margins. The possibility that the vulgar physics of the boot can leave dents on the immaterial. But it's your party that's really shitting its britches, wondering if they missed a fundamental, non-dialectical variable along the way.
The dialectic assumes a predictable trajectory. It does fail to account for one thing.
Bingo. There's no linear relationship between people and history or post-history. Personally, I describe it to that pesky eye. Great derailer. Someone's already started drafting the next chapter. No such thing in my till next time.
Marcia?
Ex-pilots.
Does Joe there look like he could get anything up, let alone a plane? Loud Joe. He doesn't talk. I'm Pigeon. That's Slava over there.
Slava used to be the name of a fishing port company out of the north.
Guess.
Call signs aren't meant to be flattering. So if he was named after a bird known for its wayfinding.
Allegedly.
Man's got no compass. Him couldn't make it to the pier phone without using radar.
Joke's on you all anyway. I never minded pigeons. Tough little fuckers.
Two of the pilots slowly turn their heads towards the third. A leaden silence descends. You have touched on something that should not have been touched upon.
Now what makes you ask that?
The soundless words are clear on his lips. I was held in one.
If Joe wants to tell you, that's his problem. I'm not translating.
Steady breathing, a gaze as missing as it is fixed on you. He will not lower it. Defiance keeps it aloft. His companions may not accede to tell you, but he will, if you can understand him, that is. Your attention hones in on his mouth and the minutiae of its movements. Jaw aperture, tongue position, lip retraction. The fleeting shapes of ghost words flit through your vision. Captured, torture, moved, another location. Different, clean, doctors. At some point you begin to see the story behind the words. After weeks or months of being hauled around like dying meat from one grimy torture site to another, suddenly he arrives in a sterile facility. Behold, the true face of the so-called developed world. In your gut, you already know what's coming. Vocal cords, surgical, no anesthesia. Let me go. And once the experiments are done, they throw him back on the street and close the doors. Now you see it, camouflaged in wrinkles, a necktie of scar tissue nestled in the folds of his fro. It takes a few moments, but the cynical, absent smile slowly returns to his face.
Hope you're satisfied, Marcia.
The sick stuff I'm going to need to say to Duchess after this.
Pain and pleasure, revulsion and attraction, all irremediably tangled.
I did clockwork for it. Perishable good.
Military.
The ranking system amongst pilots is all but official. Military is highest, followed by commercial, then cargo, then finally leisure. Jet pilots likewise command more respect than those flying traditional rotor planes. The saliva smacking in his throat and mouth is louder than any words formed.
Loudjow was what they call a lamprey. People smuggler.
Coyote of the seas.
Zhao ran low altitudes missions in and out of the territories for, what, 10 years?
Territories meaning, in this case, the Los's island states. briefly far below the normal region of air traffic, almost skimming the dark water. A shuddering cargo plane crosses the Noscorrentes Sea. Lights dimmed.
Just high risk. The only reward is what happens to you when you get caught.
Lao Shuao just stares at you. His reward was severe.
Of course, a more technical pilot might have made it out, but...
Officially, we're Lusian.
We're exiles. The reunion came for a sweet...
The laughter leaves in its wake something like conversational scar tissue.
If it is, I won't be around to see it. Liver's on its way out. Cancer will get me before the illusions do.
That smirk, like he's somehow gotten one over on Faye.
Working on it. Cheers.
A few hundred brain cells pleasantly fizzle out in unison.
Anyway, you're the foreigner here, Marcia, so you tell us. The Lucians. Think they'll be here anytime soon?
Hear that? Smart and good looking.
Either way, that's for you lot to worry about. I'm out the door.
Well, I still have my tenantry passport. Stamped on arm. Could fly back any day.
A particularly brutal annexation. The tenantries were razed almost to the ground. What remains is a shrunken capital surrounded by non-arable land.
Oh, sure. And end up like Joe here? Ours?
He spreads his mouth open in a vast, unpleasant grin. A joke in poor taste. The stamped passport for a country that no longer exists. The pilots exchange a look in silence.
Tell you what, Marcia. You grease my gullet. I'll tell you some fucked up stories.
He means, buy me around.
Wish I could say the same, sweet lips. Until next time, sugar.
Deadlines. Yes, I'm missing them. I need to feel like it's been a very bad quarter for me.
A half-second glance is all he gives the wheel. The wheel itself isn't distinguishing enough. The rest of the model train is still out. He jerks his shoulder.
This is a private phone call.
A pained intensity and...
I saw her talking to the old pilots earlier. They must have sent her to... Do I want her to watch? Oh, maybe. In theory, but you should see the way she's dressed. She looks like an encyclopedia entry for low net worth.
He whirls around.
I asked you politely once. Now kindly wait your fucking turn.
Blood rush. Boiling.
Tell me that kind of language is unacceptable. It's the influence of the gap. I hardly recognize myself anymore.
More. Harder. Again.
I'm under assault! If this is it, tell them. Tell them it was in the line of duty.
If it weren't for the hands that he's clutching, you would have laid him right out.
Time's up. You don't know anything about time. My job concerns the fates of nations.
Fear. Hatred. Good. He won't brush you aside so easily now.
I'm sorry. I've attracted the attention of one of the lumpen probe. If this mysterious gap doesn't kill me, one of those violent locals will. I've got to go. I'll call you again. When it's safe.
The enemy flees from the post-historical dustbin. With that, the man gently sets the handset back in its cradle and slinks off into the city. At last, now you can use the now unoccupied payphone stands half embedded.
Hello there. A what, baby? I'm so sorry to hear that. Don't give up hope on him yet, baby. People are stronger, and the world is stranger than we think. Tell me all about it. Tell me how bad you've been. You... It was probably a very annoying light-up sword, right? And he won't be able to bother anybody with it at night now. You've done a good deed. I don't think that's all bad. Unless you want it to be. In which case, baby, you're a sinner. Oh, I didn't realize I was talking to a real rule breaker. Whatever you say, baby. Line's always open.
Rain greets you.
Hello, again. I hope that helps. Until next time.
Back again. And what's a foreign sock person want with the jail, exactly?
Are you actively trying to sabotage your persona? Whoops. Time for an intriguing exit.
A thing? What's that mean? No, I do not. And there's no jail around here. But to each their own.
The GM gives you the most. The smuggler inclines his head in silent recognition. That look wasn't for nothing. If he knows something, it'll require finessing. You scan the area, trying to mirror his gaze. Along the harbor, the outline of a building, just past the roundabout. You're not sure what that building is, but the direction is right. Instinctively, he looks down. Yes, everything within him is making a concerted effort not to react. Cowards. You see him, boots braced on a trembling deck. His vessel noses out past the breakwater into... Tell him him to not go into that office himself. He shouldn't see. The man may be gone, but the post-mortem loyalties, sign of a well-cultivated asset. He doesn't have to like it, but his nights will be kinder for it. He furrows his brow. He didn't need to. His gut said enough. He lowers his head. The smuggler inclines his head in silent. He hardens his jaw. You see him. Tell him to not go into that office himself. He shouldn't see. He lowers his head. You return to the rack of... You turn away from the rack.
Good day. Oh yes, bastardo! Is him turned the bazaar into the bootleg bazaar. Drawing... Haven't seen him or his assy assistant assing around for a while. They're probably shacked up somewhere, making the angels sick. Carmona doesn't keep track of assy names.
Sounds more like she notices.
And she's been collecting our payments for the last few weeks. Suddenly, we low people must tolerate a teenager managing the place on his behalf. I won't have it, Manuna. She may run the bootleg bazaar, but she doesn't run her Doña Carmona. He's not been himself. You know, he used to drink, then he stopped. Perhaps he slid back into the bottle without Carmona noticing. Every day he was at the shrine by the west gate, offering and praying. What business has a man like that with the stars? Well, you ought to choose them better. Let him know he's a bastardo next you see him. No! That...
No, she did not.
An affectionate term, friendly. He was a good... That poor thing. Afraid no, Menina. This bazaar is always charging. Lots to ask, lots to say. We're in the... Dangerous questions usually come from dangerous people, Menina.
You better hope she really does forget it. That was a question worthy of a child pretending to be an operant.
Nestor. We used to paint that statue with all sorts of insults when it still stood.
She sighs.
He promised us Nestorismo, a new type of politics, his own invention. A middle ground between the developed world and the superbloc. That's what we thought.
She jerks her chin over to the statue. Nestor's pondweed eyes stare up at the sky through a foot of rank canal water.
You see how it went? Very good. Polaris protect him. Da port. Good day to you.
A cosmonaut suit. A relic. Your focus one.
Thanks for stopping.
The intercom is covered by a protective plastic film. Yet another device bearing the Renotel emblem. Tautening the outer defenses. Strip that plastic off. Now. It curls under the edge of your fingernail and slides off in a single, unbroken piece. Exquisite. You can see your reflection, flipped in the unblemished metal. Felt good. Take your dopamine where you can get it. The indicator light flicks on. A high-pitched whine from the speaker.
Is it working? Can you hear me? Oh, that's good. I never know if I'm pressing the right thing.
A melodic voice that makes you think of flowers blooming in time-lapse. Holiday phone girlfriend. Claimer.
Désolé. If you don't know, you're probably not supposed to be here.
Very vague. Almost secretive.
Nice try, but I won't be doing that.
The dermis of static masks any change in her tone. Seems you need a good reason to be here. Fortunately, you are trained in reverse reasoning.
Thank you. No one's ever told me that before.
What is this? The making friends intercom. It is in your way. Batter its defenses.
That's a very nice thing to hear, out of clear blue. You also have a nice voice. I'm not. Yes, actually. We aren't exactly open to the public, so this is just a light security measure. Sorry, I'm still getting used to it.
The intercom looks expensive. The interference suggests a building-wide system. Nothing light about the security. The line hisses with dead...
The plastic? On the intercom? That was not your plastic to peel. Could you try and replace it? Yes. Maybe it'll go back on.
You look at the crumpled, sticky mess of plastic in your hand. Translucent and grotesque. like an electronic gecko mole. It will never be skin again.
This has ruined my day. You're lucky you have a nice voice. Bonne journée.
The intercom gleams, the intercom lights.
Yes. You're quick to forget a nice voice, aren't you?
Let's see what we have to work with. A tone, the foreign affectations, the unfamiliarity with technology, the undercurrent of homosexuality. Not to mention the lack of industry around the building, a general sense of not a lot going on. Yep, this is some kind of cultural front. Try that.
You're a poet.
Poetry. Good. Too officious for a reading group, so more likely.
The magazine is open for submissions, of course.
Poetry magazine. Direct hit. Of course. When an industry dies out, its buildings are repurposed into offices for that contemporary, utilitarian feel.
It might be better if you come in. I'll open the door.
You're through. Now keep your seams together. Play the poet persona to the hill. Poetry's easy. Make it short, make it vague. Among the many sections of the cabinet, you find a small stack of papers. 1. Read the poem silently, then aloud. Consider the line breaks and identify the meter and rhyme scheme, if any. Is the poem written in open form or closed form? A printed table labelled tetrasyllables. The first column contains hieroglyphics. The second has a series of words. Strange series of U-shaped scansions used to represent stressed and unstressed syllables. Prosodists have fought over whether they're worth anything for millennia. 2 types of people worship scansions. Poets too fond of structure, or tenured academics. Proselyusmatic, ditroche, diam, coriam, antipast, dispondi. The word coriam has been circled in red pen. The same pen hanging from the younger woman's neck. Feels important, feels juicy, unsure why. The corresponding meter notation reads -UU-. If you ever need it, you can now pluck that information from the archive. The paper spins in your hands with a rustle. Tutorial guidelines for the interpretation and critique of the written verse. Whoever's using these isn't trying to get better at writing poetry. They're trying to get better at reading it. Notes have been scribbled in the margins. Read aloud, line breaks, too many metaphors. It seems they lack an artist's spirit. 2. Paraphrase the poem. You may wish to do this with the entire poem, or line by line. If this is too confusing, focus on distinct imagery, or isolated parts first. 3. Consider the poet's word choice. Identify figures of speech, identify metaphors and or similes if perhaps you are a creature made for soul work. There should never have been any doubt about that. You are possessed with art. You put the papers back.
Bonjour, bienvenue. Welcome to the Noscarentes Review.
Knitwear ensemble, sensible boots, a collection of beaded necklaces. She smiles shyly as you take her in.
I am. Don't mind me. I'm just the sub-editor.
A plucky literary aspirant, grinding away experience in the hallowed hall of art. Adorable. The sub-boss of words. See how she flaunts the red pen of redaction.
You must be my plastic peeler. Got you.
Dilated pupils. Into you.
So, how can I help you? Or do you just want to listen to my voice?
And cue.
Stop that. I'm at work. You should give it to Haya. Accepting submissions is way above my station, but I can't wait to read it. The editor-in-chief. She's right over there. It's Deal? You're so contemporary. It's a poetry quarterly, small batch press, mid-tier distribution. Haya's really the person to talk to if you're looking for a mission statement, not me. I was assigned here as part of a sponsorship grant. No, I love it here. Just being exposed to poetry at all is so thrilling. And they let me edit it. So I see, and hear. Guidelines for me to follow. When I do get a chance to look over submissions, this is the checklist to see what has merit and what does not. Without them, I just never know how to read.
You cannot weigh a soul with guidelines. Good. This poetry has rules and documents.
That sounds like technicality and poetry are incompatible. Maybe they are, and I just haven't learned that yet. Obviously, I can read. I mean, like close reading. The way we read poetry. No one's ever asked me that before. What a silly question.
One she can't bring herself to answer.
All right.
She rests her small palm on top of the sheet of paper and slides it towards her side of the desk. Away from you.
Proofreading, mostly. Occasionally coffee brewing, cabinet filing, and floor sweeping. Quite a bit of floor sweeping. The actual work is conceptual, thinking about poetry. I haven't got to that level yet. Conceptual thinking is pretty hard. I'm part of a placement program, getting young people situated with arts and cultural institutions. I'm very grateful. The magazine's sponsor saw that Haya and the review needed a helping hand. I am that hand, that's all. I'm just here to make sure everything runs smoothly. No. But it's okay. It's okay that you peeled my gadget. I forgive you. Oh, this? It's my special corrections pen. When you submit to this. There are no more. It's just me and Haya over there. Just a coincidence, really. We're very sympathetic to men's problems, but we also think that women's literature should be heard, so it needs more attention from us editors. I will, and reading and filing and brewing.
Excuse me, you can't go in there. Staff and contributors only.
And secret prisoners?
Anyone who wants to is strongly encouraged to submit.
Pause for a moment. Take a step back to examine what you are seeing. It's staring you in the face. An empty building in a secluded spot, and with no advanced security. It appears that this whole operation is a front for the secret jail. The prisoner must be somewhere behind that door at the back. There's only one way to be certain. A successful poem submission might be the simplest way of getting through that door. Get to work. There's a block of letter paper and a pen on your desk at the photo shop. There's always the dangerous option, express delivery. Get yourself disappeared via that tapped payphone. End up in the basement. You may even find that missing father. Or you could case the rest of the building to see if there's an alternative way down there. The editor-in-chief's desk is somewhat orderly. Among them, a luscious fountain pen glints in the artificial light. The desk remains under... The editor-in-chief among them. If you move incredibly slowly, so slowly as to be imperceptible, there will be no movement for an eye to follow. The wood is solid under your hand, the surface smooth with sealant. Stiller even. Don't breathe. The metal barrel makes a small sound as it rolls across the desktop.
Is everything all right there? I am people, and I am using it. Step back, please.
You are forced to retreat. The editor-in-chief among them. First, a distraction. Keep her gaze away from the desk.
Oh, I'm afraid not. Few of those were made, you see. And so...
Grab first, then cover up. Your hand darts out, a trapdoor spider, and rolls the pen silently off the edge of the desk and into your pocket.
She understands, I'm sure.
With a flick, you slide the remaining pens into alignment. No gap remains, only the illusion of order.
Let's move on, yes? Wouldn't want to ruffle any feathers.
The editor-in-chief among them.
Oh, yes. Thank...
She's got pens to spare. We don't. Let's nick it.
The review's 6th anniversary. Our sponsor is supportive of the work being done here. Oh yes, the Civilization Trust has long supported our work.
The desk remains under... The woman contemplates the spread of pages before her.
Ah, I wasn't expecting anyone today.
No, you are here to dominate. Maintain your persona. Don't sabotage this opportunity.
That's right. We welcome any new and aspiring poets that can meet our quality bar. Hi, Gottschlick, Editor-in-Chief. How may I help you?
The Trust is a well-known front organization founded and financed by... Ding, ding, ding. Correct. The Trust is nothing more than one of the many fronts for l'Empire sans territoire. Patrons of art, for any other sake but the art.
Yes, it's nice, isn't it?
The woman gives you both a little wave, a delayed smile just behind it. That sub-editor is an MTER operant for certain, rank unknown. And your movements.
It's a journal of contemporary poetry. Is there anything specific you'd like to know about it? The review is open to all genres. Lyrics, ballads, elegies, obads, pastorals, paeans, even the occasional eclogue.
All these rare words roll off her tongue like a second language. Pick one out. Show her that you know your stuff. You know, as a fellow poet.
Ah, yes. The yearning for an idealized state of nature. A largely discredited genre, but one does occasionally find the most surprising inversions on the theme.
See? She loved that. And she did all the hard work for you. Getting the target to fill in the blanks for you. Good form.
Those are all drafts of our next issue. Each page is laid out, already formatted. Now the job is to decide on their sequence.
Finding order. She enjoys this. It keeps her together. Grounded.
We're still a modest operation, I have to admit. For the moment, it's only myself and my sub-editor.
We keep each other company, don't we, Haya?
It's true. Even without full staffing, the printing presses still take up so much space. Yes, I suppose.
It's like she was suddenly thrust upon a stage, all her lines unrehearsed.
Well,
Haya made the review from nothing. She's more than just the boss here.
There was nothing to clear up. I am in charge of the magazine.
A tactically worded retort. Something has been omitted. She only said she's in charge of the magazine, not the sub-editor, nor the building.
Oh. What gave you that idea? As I understand it, that's why she's here. To learn on the job.
Probably covering for her, possibly in denial about her subordinates' incompetence.
Appreciating the arts and creating them are two very different things. We're very fortunate to enjoy the support of a very small yet dedicated readership.
This is the answer she wants to give, carefully avoiding any mention of her sponsor.
Ah, well, that too, naturally. Of course, anytime. Ah, well, naturally.
It's as though you proposed something unseemly at the dinner table.
Oh, no, of course not. We accept submissions by mail or in person. Verse poetry only, and standard formatting rules apply. 12-point font, double-spaced. I read it first. If the work shows any promise, we'll work together on the edits to make sure it syncs. We have room for one more in our next issue. You are here to submit what you do not have. A conundrum, one must say. This is a publishing house, not a writing room. Besides, this kind of environment is not conducive to the kinds of inspired verses for which we hunger. I would suggest you find your own desk to write at.
There was a desk back at Photo 24.
My advice would be to make sure it's quiet and allow yourself time to contemplate before you commit to paper. Adieu.
Oh, Prince. I'll be here if you...
You return to the desk. Everything is right where you left it. You plunge deep into the mirror of your past. A gust of wind knifes through you. Operant Holocene turns to you while walking through a street shadowed by soaring tenements.
Cascade, do you think you carry all your past lives with you? Or must the same life be broken and reassembled time after time? I often think a controlled suicide under a litany of psychoactive substances might be illuminating. The shape memory of a life versus a million deaths in a single soul.
A Lusian asset had sent a series of cryptograms for you to decode his whereabouts. The man was almost comically paranoid. Later, you found him dead, symbols slashed into every part of him. Holocene words haunt the air, a hypothetical that perhaps he would soon after be tempted to answer in the flesh, along with the rest of your crew. No. This file was supposed to be destroyed. Don't bring it back. We're picking up mega bad vibes here. You're dimly aware of words being committed to paper as more memories crash the windows of your mind. Stray phrases come alive in the space between your mind and the paper, glowing with prescience. You pull on your learnings from the exercise papers to sharpen up your poetry. You read it back to yourself, out loud, and find a way to improve your metaphors. The past unspools itself. You're merely its servant at the wrist.
The terrible fate of all spies, Cascade. Powerless to change the prophecy, yet endlessly free to decipher its runes.
There are other terrible fates for your kind. You know of a few.
Much like death itself. A prophecy and its runes before a human race of spies.
It is done. The page is filled. All that's left is the dull bruise of guilt and the loose memory blowing around you like a slow storm. The raw materials are pristine. Any stylistic refinement needed is the editor's literal job. So technically, no. Time grinds along when you're revisiting old ghosts. Believe it or not, there are people who do this for free. ZWS, JMXVB, for Cascade. All will. You turn away from.
I say the same thing to you. What do you want? Adios, patient.
The teenage boy nods hesitantly as you.
Ah.
Before, she mentioned the magazine's sponsor is the Civilization Trust. It suddenly seems highly relevant that you...
Good. As long as you have a point.
She takes your work and examines it, vocalizing each verse with increasing volume as she goes. Her face softens, an expression you haven't yet seen.
Well, the material is there. I can't deny that. There are signs of craft.
The editor-in-chief gives you an encouraging smile.
Now, I will elevate your piece to the craft standards of the Nos Correntes Review. Could you get the door for me, please?
Of course, Haya. In fact, why don't I take this one? I could do with the practice.
Blood, flash, hot, craving.
Oh, okay then. If you're both sure about this...
She's holding back, as if not doing so would not be good for her.
I'll make sure I pay special attention to the syllable length and stress patterns, Haya. Why don't you head to my downstairs office and I'll be with you shortly. I'll just make sure my pen's working.
She touches the red pen around her neck and smiles.
Luck is for those without the necessary talent. At least, I have more time to go over these proofs.
Hello again. I will. And reading.
The metal drawer slides out nearly soundlessly. Be fleet of foot, operant. Your enemies are onto you. After a moment of rifling, your fingertip catches on a sharp footfall for a two-person magazine office. Time to render this material. Your eyes scan the... Hold. Nestor is dead. History too. Poems are gay, and so are you. A worthy ideological foe after all. The metal rattle. The metal drawers. Be fleet of foot, operant. Your enemies are on. You bend your arm at an uncomfortable angle. The drawer's base makes a thin rattle. Not the hollow echo you... Not even a lost paperclip. You pull your hand back from the standard issue. After a moment of footfall for a two-person... Strangers in grainy black and white stare back at you. Under... Each of them seems to have left the same way. Flight D153 to a regional airport. There were reports of a ghost site labor colony on Ile-de-Serres that the Opera took seriously. Operant cylinder, status lost, was convinced MTER were behind it, though he could not ultimately prove it. Going by the dates, their visitors don't tend to stay long. This is a liminal space. Your time may be limited. You look for any young woman by the name of, obviously a stage name. You skip through the stack until your eye catches on a man. The last time you saw him, he was smiling at the camera. He looks exhausted and grubby, resigned to what was then coming, now come. Visitor Krantz Eno, date of arrival 4/3/96. Notes, prolonged interrogation, mostly unsuccessful, until daughter threatened. Gone. You have found someone who isn't really here. It disappears soundlessly into the stack. Enter Cascade, delver of secrets, dismantler of clerical assets. The files blur, then your fingers pause, your conscious mind catching up a split second behind. SD Newitz, head of human capital, MTER. The past descends with talons. Your old asset, S-Doc, still draped in the same cover you left her in, with one new styling. She is fastened to her cover, mutating with it. The mask has become her face. But at what cost? To become the High Arbiter of human capital, you no doubt have to trade in some of your own. S-Doc, status alive, alignment unknown, presume bad faith. Something about unreturned phone calls, abandoning your assets, record lows, cold, old megaton bitch. A telephone from 5 years ago startles in its cradle, waking you from the thin end of a dream. The ring cuts dead, as if a soon-to-be intruder snips the cable outside. An address listed in the housing campaign to the north of Party Alley. Names over numbers, existing in plain sight. You store the file in the cabinet, and the information for later use. The metal rattles against itself. The heavy steel door contains a single small window. Next to it, another brand new intercom light. As with anything that talks in this city, it is emblazoned with the blue Renotel logo. Heavy condensation is obscured through layers of glass. Nothing can be seen here. In the domain of shadow and you hear a brief static crackle. It fades out to leave the ambient hum of another room. You hold your ear to the box, living electricity buzzing along your ossicle bones. Somewhere in the amplified quasi-silence, there's a distant rustling.
Don't you people ever tire? The communists. Intriguing. I can barely make you out through this little viewing slot. All right, Spirit. Do you have a name? That's not a name. That's a falsehood. Herschel. Very good.
For a moment, you hear nothing but static. Even through the distorted connection, you can feel him weighing his next words.
How about poor Dante? I think that's appropriate.
The outline begins to ripple with colors, gestures, tones, the viscera of voice and name.
They turn off the lights here at night. no windows. If you're from the opera, you must be Tempo del Sur's well-connected friend.
You can practically feel the gaffer up in the rigging, guiding the spotlight along your path. Where is that sub-editor? When is she going to spring the trap? No way out but through. The deal. You're here for the deal. A wave of static crashes over the line. For a moment, nobody says anything. Green water sloshes about your feet.
Tempo assured me the opera were enthusiastic about the terms, despite the risks involved. Are you telling me that was not the case?
Here it is, the side deal. First of several, potentially. A long, crackling sigh fills the room.
I procured for Tempo del Sur an extremely rare device. The only one of its kind outside the Illuminated Empire.
Wait, a discrepancy, like a false note. Extremely rare, tingle along arm hairs.
That is what he called it, yes. I told him not to repeat it. It's a prototype for a new bootlegging device. I would tell you all about it. But really, it's best to see for yourself. Of course you did. I smuggled it out of the Empire in my own diplomatic bag. Our friend was very insistent on this point. His end first.
A detail the girl Yana conveniently left out.
But tell me, if Tempo is no more, what has become of this extremely rare device? Not that it's any concern of mine just now, but I would not leave such a thing unaccounted for. Not that many, only the big ones. It's not easy to leave the Illuminated Empire. Tempo promised he would call in certain favors. Alas, only one of us got what we bargained for. The Illuminated Empire isn't big on forgiveness. We're more about the violent reordering of reality. There's a ritual in motion, Herschel. One I suspect you've got an important part to play in. Soon there will... Wait!
The phone line hisses and goes silent. Is this the sound of the trap springing?
Apologies. I had to attend to a personal matter. Right, the reason you're here. There's a very important man on his way to Portofino as we speak. His name is Facundo Reyes.
At the base of your skull, a tickle in your brainstem. Minister of Mass Culture for Leluz, political theorist, suspected war criminal, architect for Leluz's meteoric cultural rise. Estimated age, mid-70s. Known photos, 0. While his influence is immense, Reyes himself remains an unbroken cipher, despite repeated attempts to crack him. Halberd, zeroed out, 71. Redacted, declared null entity, 74. Sediment, zeroed out, 76. Vapor, lost, 81. Comfort, zeroed out, 80. Like all the opera's great enemies, Facundo Reyes is referred to primarily by his epithet.
To his friends, he's still just Facundo. Secret treaties, matters of mass culture, all to be discussed with our mutual antagonists. Fun stuff. Leagues above your station, sadly.
The banker and the secret policeman in passionate, tongue-heavy embrace. The people's stomach turns. Enough chatter. Get out of this place while you're still able.
Missing pop star.
A shift in his tone, barely disguised concern.
Ultraviolet missing. This is grave. Very grave. An incalculable blow for humanity. Spoken like one with the emotional register of a child.
20 stories below the surface of Novessa. The double-time click-clack of practical heels down a long hallway. On the desk of a high-ranking opera official, an amber light blinks.
Just one question before you scurry back to your masters. Will it be you escorting me to the superblock? Or should I...
What might have begun as an inhale of breath transforms into a static roar that fills up the audioscape. The edges of your eyes begin to burn, pooling at the back of your mouth, an unpleasant taste. Petroleum. The audio assault gradually dissipates, only to be immediately replaced by another invasive sound. Footsteps right above you, coming this way. In the open doorway stands the sub-editor. You can just make out the shine of a red pen, held aloft, dagger-like. Cold liquid snatches at your steps like wet hands as you run towards your only hope at escape. We're dead-ended. The gang sends its regards. A crackle on the water's surface, then something seizes your ankles, then your whole body, as the world blackens.
Hello again.
The copy editor taps her red pen against the side of her face and stares at you unblinking.
Here's what you were so desperate to see. Verdict.
All sound from the city above has evaporated, like you were never in a city at all.
A confession. I've never really cared for poetry. Excessive sincerity makes me uneasy. Let me try something. Does this feel good?
She runs her thumb over the pen, teasing its mechanical tip. Cold, crackling spikes of electricity run up and down your spine from focal points on your back. 10,000 needles across your skin. You're wearing epidermal electrodes, contact points for a remote electroshock device. Sick.
There are conductors in the water too. You got a mouthful of it when you blacked out, actually. I cleaned it out for you. Say thank you.
Explains those hideous rubber boots she's wearing.
No, I just prefer people when they're floppy, compliant dolls.
A click beneath her thumb and a jolt of pain tears through your skin, sharp and sudden.
I am an interrogatrix for l'Empire sans territoire. Who are you?
Summon a persona. Concede nothing, validate less. Cascade can slip out behind the human-shaped facade. Say nothing, and she will know nothing.
Using our cover as cover. How fun. Let's see how good you are, shall we? Who won the Nos Correntes prize for Best Original Hexameter this year?
Trick question. Hasn't been decided yet.
Désolé, Lapinette. You already lost your chance. It went to some tedious old gnome named Arthur. I had to read it. I had to say it was good. What is meant by the term ekphrasis?
The description of a work of art as a literary device.
Ugh, right. Can you believe they have a word for that? Is writing the thing not enough?
Her smile changes, grows crueler.
How does it make you feel when you read your poetry?
Inadequate, weak, morose.
Ah, Lapinette. You really do sound like one of them.
Her thumb hovers over the pen, taunting you. Yes, give it. Deserved. Click. Your body spasms, your joints strain. Microscopic sinews tear in your muscles.
So, let me run my working theory by you. You're opera, right?
A depth charge of 5 fathoms, but your surface remains glass smooth.
I let you talk to our prisoner because I thought he might be chattier with you than with me, and that you'd break more easily than him.
The situation is dire. An advanced cognitive maneuver could turn her own weapon against her. The old Remembrancer designation was Fellow Traveler. The contemporary one, Psycho Mirror. The redistribution of pain.
You're as much a poet as I am.
Slanderous.
One more question on that. How does a poet end up getting shot in the heart?
A memento from the protests in 81. The bullet by your heart. The one that could move an inch and kill you. Gunshot victim D. Long-range penetration. Anterior left chest entry wound with surrounding burning stain. No exit. Extraction impossible without death. She was scouring your body while you were out.
How cinematic. I hope the bullet isn't making the electricity worse on you. Very tough on the chest cavity.
Thick. A fresh flare of agony rattles along your bones. Your mouth so wide that it tears your lips. You smell smoke and burning.
Who are you?
You can do this. You just need more pain. Pain will heal. Last chance to brace yourself. Heard an old hand say that the superblock is short of many things. Transistors, cathode ray tubes, silicon wafers. But it's never been short of brave idiots. remember your lines.
No, you are not.
Her thumb hovers over the pen. She hesitates, then snarls.
Pardon, pardon. It's been a tiring day, Lapinette. 2 missing negotiators, 1 found operant.
Emter's lost track of 2 negotiators. Very good to know.
Oh, shut up.
She stares at you, lips parted, eyes alight, her thumb roving gently over the pen. You hear the metal rattling in its case. You feel tiny sparks leaping over your skin. Portofino 91. Network dissolved. 5 assets and 1 operand lost. Cascade extracted. Competency rating indeterminate. Loyalty rating indeterminate.
You are a communist spy. What is your name?
Give her nothing, operand.
Do you have any affiliations outside the Operant Bureau?
Strange question.
What makes someone a friend? Are you currently on assignment in theater?
Here you can tell the truth. Confuse her.
That face under your mask, is that your true face? Why did you peel the plastic off my intercom?
Felt good.
Do you really believe the things you say? Do you find me attractive?
Yes, but we're not going to tell you that, electro bitch.
What does the opera want with the prisoner?
Don't let her know how little the opera knew about this. She taps the pen gently against her lips, sending tiny little jolts through the conductors on your skin as she does. Electric kisses.
Not bad, but not particularly good either. And now we're out of time. Oh, I love to hear you say that. But it isn't true. Someone intervened on your behalf. Your own personal star.
A star with no shrine. Melita. You are forever cradled in the 10,000 limbs of the party.
Toute chose qui existe en dehors de l'Empire est une chose sans valeur. Goodbye.
Click. The world drops you like an old toy. You wake to blurry vision, thudding ears and a dull ache in your lower spine. The setting sun is hot on your face. Purple light spots are burned into the back of your eyelids. The sound of the canal water lapping the sand is soothing through it all. Alive. You have infiltrated the enemy's labor camp. An opportunity to build communism in Capital's backyard. Springs dig into your back as you shift position. Your skin feels like it's still crackling. Maybe an after effect of the shocking. Maybe the first symptom of your augmentoid ascendancy. Someone is standing nearby. Your eyes realign and find a young girl staring at you, chewing a lock of her own hair. A derelict beach, a grey canal, and the Noscarentis Review building, less than 50 meters away up the hill beyond the waterlock. You didn't move at all. Someone else did it. Lifted you up and dumped you here.
I was with my dad, but he had to go grown-up fishing. He said I could take the tram home all by myself.
It will be dark soon.
Can you help me with something? I need to get this knot undone.
The girl holds out a small hook tangled in fishing line. Bind in. No, not again. You take the hook and its clot of near-invisible wire. You can't shake the feeling of being watched. Each curtained window in this city could be an eye. Double, lost in theatre. Status captured, interrogated. Loyalties non-existent. Conclusion, failure. Brackets inevitable. Your hands are trembling. A child is asking for your help. Focus.
Mantis shrimp. But they move pretty fast.
Faster than you. It's a haphazard tangle of wire, formed on the universe's whim. Still, it conjures up an uncomfortable feeling in you. Your wrists burn, the skin chafed, your shoulders ache from the pull. You pick at the wire, your fingernails slipping off the fine thread. Here and there, you make progress. Tougher than it looks. That's why you're here again, isn't it? To show 'em all.
Are you okay? Did something happen to you?
A hot woman with an electric rod happened. Gang's in shambles.
I just want to catch some mantis shrimp. But you seem so...
You tug on the last loop of thread. The tangle vanishes as the hook slips free.
Cool. Thanks so much. Oh, yeah. The man told me to give this to you.
She holds out a clot of folded paper. It appears to be an origami rendering of some kind. An anatomically correct human heart. Contoured, dynamic, expressive. A shining example of the form. Or at least it would be, if it hadn't been subjected to the inside of a 10-year-old's pocket. Easier, yes, but less fulfilling.
The man with no heart.
Houseman, the null persona.
Yeah. Is he your dad? Oh. Maybe you're old too.
The flattened paper reveals a handwritten message within the shape. Big ticket item about to hit the organ block. Opening bids already coming in by payphone. Party alley, west side. Who will we say is calling operant? Below the scrawled text, a childlike drawing of a heart, coloured in red. Houseman no doubt organised your release from the jail. This message is no courtesy. It's a debt slip.
Nope. For what?
Your gaze instinctively turns north, towards the fog and colour of Party Alley. This marked payphone then. It seems someone will be waiting for you on the other end.
out in the streets, free and young. This was the summer of riots, youth movements, and the monotheist coup. Masses following their material interests, their dogmas, or their orders. No, you followed the music. An open-air gig on Landau's Grand Boulevard, in the shadow of the Founding Fathers Monument, headlined by young, greasy demigods who called themselves the Whole Sick Crew.
The last gasp of heroic rock. They never lied and never sold out. Something that can never be said about you.
Crack of rifle fire in the summer humidity. Soldiers on the roof. Monotheist agents in the crowds. Dozens killed. Shot by the security forces or trampled by their own panicking friends. You meant to, but the 10mm bullet caught you first. Fate screaming your name from 200 meters.
Unauthorized contact with foreign bodies.
The surgeon didn't expect you to survive. Metal was too near the heart. He'd have to crack you open like a pistachio. You make compromises in order to live. That's just one of them. So what will it be, Hirsch? Do you still feel the music? The conviction that led you to that scar by your heart? Another instrument in your symphony.
Defenses going up, but curiosity as well. So that's it. He's gone. Asset virtue. Confirmed. Zeroed out. And he just happened to come across it.
Only two possibilities. His own brothers, failing the Brotherhood, or the Azuris. Figure it was the Azuris.
Portofiero's largest organized crime syndicate.
News of a dead carabinero usually comes with jokes and shit talk. Maybe drinks. But sure as the Cape boys were quiet, so were the Azuris. He'd been on the shit list for a while, I'm sure. Maybe he pissed off one of the pecans. Doesn't matter. The uniform's reason enough. And this part didn't look too good the last time we met. Like he knew something ugly was coming. Why are you asking me? You went in there, didn't you? It's right across. I stay vigilant. So again, why do you ask? I know I wouldn't have gone in there myself. I was asked to keep an eye on it not long ago. You know, just in case.
By whom?
Baby girl, there are many questions I haven't asked you. Being a thoughtful, caring man. But stay away from there. That's all I'll say. Why are you asking me? I know I wouldn't have. I was asked to keep an...
By whom?
Baby girl, there are men. Let's stay away from there.
You recall Vespar speaking of his time in the Guardia Municipal, a decade of low-stake days. Making Goat Eyes look like a snitch, with none of the perks. The young man stares at you for a...
As much as Vespar's outfit bothered me, you stand by everything your employer does, Habibti? There's this old Rastamian saying my grandmother liked. Some truths arrive already carrying a shovel.
You feel it already. A movement.
With pleasure. If that's not enough, all right. Tell me what's up. I'll be seeing you.
You pick up the payphone's handset. Adult. You step away from the pay. The cleaning. The tuk-tuk remain. The trio goes silent at your return.
That young man over there is a bit confused.
They weren't interested in Kurt's proposal. Why would they respond to you? She flashes a glance at her feet, uncaring, and scuffs one side of the pristine shoes against... Ah, debased. That's what she thinks of your taste. Your attempted power move has backfired spectacularly. Now, you just need to say the... Then they'll see. He grunts. He couldn't care less about... No dice. You just need to say the... Then they'll see.
Do you now? I'm sure it's a...
The way you phrased that makes it sound like you're in possession of a knockoff.
No. An item like this is only available in Cicatrice Frontera.
Sour sickness on the back of your tongue. No dice. You can feel sex eyes on your... There is no response. Just the...
Looks like you missed your tram.
Controllers here. Gang. Scatter.
But at least you didn't get yourself zeroed out. So thank you for that.
Don't let her hear your surprise. Volley it back.
Maybe. Maybe not. Either way, we've got a lot to talk about. You really went off script back there. We're lucky an old associate reached out and filled us in.
Something different about the projections just now. Against the old palace of culture. Ahead of you. Today, 0 soul down. Artificial dreams flicker against the wall. Fleeting promises of what could be yours for the price of a few soul.
We're only as good as our sources, even when those sources don't technically exist. You know, I've heard in the developed world they have semioticians who insert secret meta-messages into advertisements.
There is no need of eye, only a dumb hand unwise to its purpose. Summer, get out of...
Messages that bypass the mind's conscious defenses entirely, going straight from your senses into your preconscious.
The enemy's knife turned against its own throat. Moss and lichen removal. Your task etches itself in the folds of your subconscious.
Shh, Operant.
Her voice, your ear.
Not everything that can be said should.
A bird passes across the beam of the projector, casting a lunatic shadow as it goes.
You said you wanted a chance. Now you've got one.
Already the outlines of the whole picture are beginning to shimmer. Your fingers tingle at the chance to fill them in. Assassinate a high-ranking foreign official. Return to the Operant Bureau's graces. This is the offer that's been extended to you. A chance to put the gang back together. You've already given over to yourself. These words are simply gestures to be performed. Through the rain clouds, you catch glimpses of an uncountable audience, shimmering in their seats.
Cascade, are you there? Good. We need you there. Let's talk about what you need now. A plan, a tool, some friends. You recently made a new acquaintance, did you not? An older foreign gentleman.
Dante, the old prisoner.
He seems like a highly knowledgeable individual. I'm sure he could help you find a suitable time and place for your purposes. Is that so? I didn't realize you two were still in touch. Well, the Manuspati has given us a very interesting board state. Well done. If there's a deal to be struck, your old friend will be the one to approve it. How wonderfully convenient. Because you haven't yet felt out your trading partner, we're talking about the linchpin of the developed world. They will deal. Isn't it? I thought we'd resolve the contradiction by using one enemy to slash the throat of another.
Thus, a terrible synthesis is born.
Talk to Essie. Find out what your new acquaintance is worth to them. Give them the moon if they ask for it.
You already know she keeps an apartment in the housing campaign. You need only find which one.
It sounds so fun and easy when you say like that. Of course, in reality, it will be very, very hard. I was thinking something discreet, portable, quiet.
A pistol with suppressor, either built-in or attachable.
How?
A dry sound, meant to approximate polite laughter.
Sadly, we haven't got the time nor the connections to arrange a proper import. This one's going to have to be procure in theater.
Opera speak for your problem.
I told them we should have stuffed something in the fax machine. Alas, my request was deemed extravagant. I think a quiet purchase is best. Less paperwork. How you arrange that is up to you.
Go Eyes, the street hustler and man of many endeavors. He's your lead.
Oh.
A note of concern for the company you've been...
You didn't think you were going to do this alone, did you?
Ghosts descend from the rafters of the city. The photograph...
You won't know until you've asked. Besides, you don't need a network. What you need is a squad.
Squad. From square. A formation that can defend itself in 4 directions.
The knight errant, to assemble and guide the rest. The cupbearer, to stand by you absolutely. The astronomist, to reflect things in a different light. The fool, for a reason known only to one. Right. The stress of the job seems to have left your double somewhat.
Fucked. Impressionable. Lumpen.
Inert. I would probably count him out for this assignment. No question. You and he always got along. Friends even. Good with wires and things, wasn't he? A decent fool.
No phone line is safe when he's on your side. Rolls a great spliff, too.
Oh. You're serious, aren't you? We don't have to rehash ancient lore. But if you were to insist, he could take up his old role as your astronomist. Yes, she probably would take any role you offered her. Her, I actually have a note on here in my files. Seems her father set up a clinic on a houseboat somewhere in Kisak. Maybe worth paying him a visit.
A houseboat doctor. Could it be Dr. Hugo? But
that's a great shame. I'll make sure he gets his unmarked star.
On the north wall of the Novessa Palace of Culture, the only memorial departed servants of the Operant Bureau ever receive. The girl, Yana.
Much like your old friend himself. And you think she might be up for this? Worth asking about her availability in any event. Another unmarked star. What a shame. For your squad, probably not. But she may end up playing an important role all the same.
No way. She hates us. Can't hang with gang.
I'll be there for you as well. You can reach me from any payphone if you need help in theater. For anything extra sensitive, you can call me from the phone in your apartment. It's a pleasure to be working together. Now get some rest. Don't fall for false advertising.
A click. The bald man watches on.
Dressed up like a compromise.
His shirt is low enough to expose a tangle of chest hair. Deliberate, wild, oddly indecent.
Quite the contrary. A wasted figure is a despicable figure. You're from...
A casual, yet impressive assessment.
Immigrant parents, then? Your cheekbones, too. Very angry. Brows. Is that really the criterion by which you want to dress? Its value? Go on. Tell me. Most people who come to me, they say they want an expensive suit. I tell them, the price of the suit doesn't matter, so long as the person wearing it is high value. So, why do you want the suit? To ingratiate oneself with those who were born into such things.
He disappears into the depths of his shop. Upon return, in his arms a bundle of fabrics. A pair of checkered shoes dangle.
All right, I've compiled some pieces that might give us a place to start.
The trousers are tailored in a loose fit style. The slick, soft black silk blocks of earth-toned silk have been neatly and nearly invisibly stitched together. It's subtle, but you can see the telltale bulge of... The shoes are the most striking element of the outfit. A pop of eccentricity, diamond shape. They say, I'm corporate, but still hip. There's no doubt about it. This might actually work on you, especially with bespoke tailoring.
Turn your head to the left? Perhaps you really could fit in with the high-value class. You have the structure for it.
Inherited from your mother. The only decent thing she ever actually gave you.
You are. Many women consider it undesirable, but it's key to the look. There's a certain way that those people carry themselves. It's the way I want everyone to look in my clothes. Effortless, free and easy, under no pressure at all. If you want the suit for less money, you must embody this. You'll need to prepare. It may take some time. The body needs to recover. Get a good night's sleep. Drink a fancy coffee. Smoke an expensive cigarette. Live within the means of a man who makes decisions for a living.
If you want to look like a person who can handle pressure, you'll need to reduce your own. Inside, a small... Your vision darker. A pornographic site for the local porno bourgeois. Unpadded jackets with their sleeves rolled up. Linen and soft. The cuts and drapes speak of some... None. It's as if the space was arranged to There are no price tags. It's all posh people shy. He offers a brief smile.
I don't sell clothes. I sell transformations. Transformations which generate epochs that capture the delicate moment between the before and the after.
Borderline insane, but on the right side of aesthetics.
You've fallen prey to dissociation. What you need is to reunify your inner and outer self. This is a common mistake, and it must be rectified before any proper tailoring can begin. Maybe. Normally, I would point you towards one of my regular clients who happens to be in town. A Monsieur Frederick of L'Empire-Saint-Terre. Unfortunately, he seems determined to debase both himself and my fine work by standing absolutely still. Moreover, at a phone box devoid of joy. A good number of my clients don't live in Portofino. Some pass through for work, others make an appointment with me, the sole reason.
The flash of a gold tooth.
There's also a Monsieur Oscar of L'Empire-Saint-Territoire. But he has managed to violate my work to an even higher degree than Frederick. let us not irritate me any further.
Few birds fly overhead. The tailor nods.
Ah, my young friend of the avant-garde, the savant of the scene. Has he sent you for another high-end piece of mine?
There seems to be no creditor in this. This sociopathic debt collector has been cast from the same mold of dishonesty as all other such parasites.
There must be a misunderstanding. The jacket's paid for.
How weird.
Let me clarify. The young man doesn't owe me any money. He owes the bank money. He must be confused.
Why would a Leviathan hunt down a single minnow?
The jacket itself was 500 sol. Underpriced for a masterpiece. But there's accruing interest, service fees, and other economic fashions on the side of the bank. I'm perplexed. Does the young savant not understand how he afforded the jacket? How is that possible? Unless he does not know how money works either. Please tell Kurt not to worry about me. We are settled. But do remind him of his arrangement with the bank. I'd like to keep making pieces for him. This is what's there for you. Don't ruin it by slouching, yes? The side seams are offset to trace a clean line from hip to floor. Do not ruin that by using the pockets. If you scuff those on a curb, don't come back. It'll break my heart. Well then. You're a potential customer. And only because of your figure. Calves aside. It's the first thing I noticed about you. One of them is slightly larger than the other, leading to...
This man is full of excrement. Our calves are the right size.
I can see that you don't know much about the world of high value. If you move in certain circles, you may have heard a certain type of man say such things as, I have a guy in Portofino, but you wouldn't have heard of him. I'm the him you haven't heard of.
And why is that? He is no hero of the people. That's why.
When I say your selection would be an insult, it's your taste I'm criticizing. Allow yourself to ask for help. Bruce, dress me, please. Perhaps once more, with feeling.
The tailor swishes his hand through shoulder-length hair that hasn't been there for a long, long time.
I'm creating Portofino fashion in the old way, but brought into the modern age. Hand stitching, salvaged the local silks, skirts for men. Tradition with a twist. No. Nestor was a nationalist. I just cater to people who are tired of a world that insists on shoving garbage down their gullets. The main source of the garbage just happens to be invading Portofino from beyond its borders. Set foot in the bazaar and you'll see what I mean. Everything you buy there is designed to disintegrate within a couple of years, at most. Nestorismo brought pants, and with them, the mediocritization of men's fashion. The skirt is the perfect utility garment and my inspiration for this evocation of Portofino's past. An ensemble for a star-worshipping priest.
He gestures to a loose kimono in swirls of green and cream, and a boxy skirt made...
One of my more daring recent efforts. Not entirely successful. In light of my failures, 15% off. A silk torched their last sweatshop for the insurance. Most silk you find now is repurposed.
Some weeks ago, sweat gathered on his bald head under the strap of a forehead lantern. Broad hands delicately protected by latex gloves. He rummages through the back rooms of the abandoned S-Silk number 3, hoping for a bolt of stained fabric.
The commercial silk farms in Pia Barreto produce cheap garbage. They starve the worms as much as the workers. It can't compare to the remnants of the Portofiran messes. Any flaw a man creates in the pursuit of his craft becomes a part of the craft. A mistake made by a machine is just a mistake.
Machines don't make mistakes, mister.
See? Look at this.
You're going to have to take his word.